It's going to be a rematch from a little bit earlier in the day. Spawning in the top left on Romanticide. It's our red Protoss player for Project Hive. This is PAPI. And spawning in the bottom right. Had the score wrong. There we go. Actually, I'm gonna fix that. Spawning in the top left of Romanticide. It's our red Protoss player. Named for Project Hive. This is PAPI. And spawning in the bottom right with a 1-0 lead in this best of 5. It's our blue Terran player for Team Roddy. This is CuKu. So just a little bit of information here in the Junior Championships. All of our groups are GSL style format, meaning best of 3s all the way through the group. The one difference in the rules that we have is in the decider match, if it is a rematch of 2 players from earlier on in the group, we turn the best of 3 into a best of 5, and we offer a +1 advantage to the player who won the previous series. In this case, CuKu beat PAPI earlier on in the day, and that is offering him the chance to have a 1-0 start in this best of 5. So he only has to win 2 games to advance out of this series. PAPI will have to win 3. And it looks like CuKu has already decided, hey, I know what I need to do to win. I'm just going to start that way, as he is going to proxy out his factory and starport more than likely once again. And it seems like it's going to be the same kind of tank push that he did in the previous series as well. So also, didn't get a chance to mention it, but thank you so much for the subs, by the way. We just hit the 100 sub mark once again. Yo, feels really good. Really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for supporting me and supporting the Alpha Junior Championships. All right, so once again, going to be this same timing marine and tank push that we saw in the first series between these 2 players. And it'll be a question of whether or not PAPI can sense that this is coming. I mean, he hasn't seen anything too terribly damning one way or the other. PAPI's going to try and deviate a little bit of the damage here by bringing in this Oracle. Oh. And this could be... I was going to say, CuKu's got to decide here. PAPI is finding the right way to deal with the fact that CuKu's going to be out on the map with his Marines and cannot afford to wait on getting those kills happening. But it's a matter of whether or not this push will do enough damage to really make it a devastating push. Here come the shield batteries. Okay, tanks are already going to be plopped down into place. Are they going to siege, or are they just going to remain in regular attack mode? Seems like they might just stay in attack mode for right now. One tank does get lifted up. It is going to get plopped back down again. The final lift should be possibly enough. One of those tanks is going to get picked off. The second one is still alive, and it is alive and well. This Phoenix really can't get too aggressive onto it, even with a Void Ray here. Oh, that Void Ray is actually going to be enough. PAPI doing a really good job of anchoring this down. He had the right build order. PAPI getting out and shutting down CuKu's economy, making this a 1-push situation. PAPI evening up the series 1-1 at the end of this first game. Now, if I had to make some analysis, I think that might be a piece that I think is worth mentioning and keeping in mind. I feel like while CuKu played very well in their first series, I felt like CuKu was able to advance over his opponent because of the very good timings and the build orders that he had built up and ready to go. And he was able to take very decisive victories over his opponent in 2 different games. But with PAPI maybe sensing that is going to be the play style needed here for CuKu, I feel like PAPI is able to just adapt and try and play with that in mind, knowing like, okay, my opponent's probably not going to go for a super fast macro game. Might just go for something a bit more aggressive, really drag things out. Then you can just react appropriately. So bunker at the backside of the natural is going to be a nice way to start things off. Additional barracks on the backside of this as CuKu is going to continue his aggression going forward. I think the Stargate play is good. It's going to force CuKu to, well, one of 2 things is going to happen with the continued Oracle opening. Either PAPI is going to be able to steal free kills off of these SCVs because CuKu is trying to take every single Marine he has across the map. Or CuKu's not going to hit as strong across the map because he's leaving Marines back at home to defend. Now, to CuKu's credit, he is parking the barracks pretty close to the main mineral line, which is going to mean that a rally defense will be really good. These Marines finding decent damage. Killing off one of those stalkers would be really, really nice. Oh no, it's 2 Marauders! Or 1 Marauder, rather. That would have been 2 Marines. That would have been really, really good, but instead, not going to be the case. Well, PAPI's gonna find some more damage here. This is the 3 kills I was talking about. Yeah, those Marines don't want to go forward. I mean, or go back. They need to go forward so that he can hit this timing as closely as possible. It's going to be Stim Pack and Combat Shield as close as it possibly can be, but the +1 has been delayed by a significant amount, which means that this is not going to have the same punch potential as it otherwise would have. PAPI doing a good job here so far in keeping his opponent pinned back. Doesn't look like concussive shells is going to be brought along with this as well. Nope. Does not appear to be the case. I don't think this is going to go well for CuKu. He might get the engagement of the century, but it feels like he is just coming into a meat grinder, and those force fields made it that much worse. Okay, drone drill though. PAPI, game number 2. Is he about to just 3-0 his opponent? Seems like it. He's on match point. I think if you're PAPI, I think you just run this back one more time. I think you just play patient, you play calm, not get outside of your means, and you just keep things easy breezy. But if you're CuKu, what does CuKu need to bring to the table here? CuKu's tried a menagerie of various aggressive builds this time around. 2 of them that worked in the previous series, but PAPI was unaware, not planning for it. And this time around, he knows he needs to keep an eye on his opponent's ability to advance forward. So he's doing a much better job of that this time around. It seems like we're going back to our game 1 tactic here. Oh, wait, no, that's not an SCV. Just going to be barracks. Okay. Double barracks into the 3rd command center. A sentry opening. And that's the kind of patient play that that PAPI is being rewarded for trying to play. Oh. So 2 probes. It's the greatest trade deal of all time. Looks like Poppy's going to be the one that comes up with the aggression and getting the blink stalker. Oh, imagine if Poppy turns this on CuKu. He's getting his 3rd base out. He's going to toss down some additional production facilities. He's got a robotics bay. So far, so good for our Red Protoss player. Yeah, I think Poppy's going to be the one that does the large majority of the proxying. Not proxying, aggression rather. Sorry, brain. But it's very probable that it's going to start off as a very built up macro game. Bob's facility is going to finish up here. So will Blink. There's no real units pushing across the map at this point. Just fair number of stalkers to deflect any potential incoming units. There will be Colossus being brought in as well. And this is a very, very good scout by Poppy. Seeing the orbital down at the 3rd base location, seeing where the army is at right now, and knowing that it is just going to be bioplay once again. The Colossus is going to be a safe bet alongside the extended thermal lance. Charge on the way, as well as 5 additional gateways. And I can imagine that we're still going to hit around that 7-minute 30-second mark here for CuKu, with a nice little bio squad getting into his medevac count. This is going to be just pretty standard bio, all things considered. Guys, hear me out. A meme build tournament. Can't hardly argue with that. All right. The CuKu's gonna boil up here on the high side of the map. We now have a fourth base going down for PAPI. And I think PAPI could be in trouble here. He had a scouting observer that was picked off by CuKu's forward army. And I am not confident that this is going to be scouted very well. The scan's going to go down in the main, and that should draw some attention. Are we going to get a recall into that main base? No, it's just going to be a lot of pylon damage coming down. A fair number of units there at the tower, as a scan's going to go down at the third base location as well. And there's already units here, and that will end up being an okay hold. The robotics base stays alive if there is a way for an observer to get brought in. I mean, these mines should be able to be cleaned up. Is there an observer right now? There is. There's one, but it's still out across the map. Oh, nice little micro trick. He does lose one of them, but I would imagine that of the circumstances, that was probably the best case scenario. So all in all, I mean, it really wasn't that big of a crazy situation here for PAPI. PAPI did a pretty decent job of defending it. Doesn't really take that much damage at the third base location. Doesn't really lose that many probes. Oh, no, this might be a bit of a different situation, though. Oh, it's a great force fields. Allow these Colossus to try and remain aggressive. To get that observer replaced there on the left side of the map, so that doom drop is not going to catch him off guard once again. And despite that, he does already have a decent amount kind of built up. I mean, CuKu might just try and dive for it anyways. He doesn't necessarily know. Oh, he will now. The first one does go down. Actually, I think that might have been a brilliant play. Keeping as many of those medevacs as far back as possible and sending in the empty one first. It ended up working out really, really well. PAPI with just some very, very crisp defending here. Fourth base is secured. The third base on the right-hand side is secured. CuKu's already on his transition here. He is going to get ghosts added into the mix, but really, PAPI's just kind of been Teflon. He really has not taken a whole lot. CuKu's been the one that's been bringing all of the pain to his opponent, but he's the one that's up on the mineral loss. I think PAPI might just have this. It is 2-1. Oh, that was a great EMP, though. And great follow-up disruptor shot as well. Okay, one Colossus does end up going down as well. Additional Zealots going to be added into the equation. Great force fields divide this army in half. Those Marines had nowhere to go. PAPI able to continue advancing, but he does have to push back just a little bit. Those Vikings getting a lot of free shots out onto these Colossus. Disruptors end up being really good as well. But is there anything here at that third base location? No, not really. So that will just be a pull from CuKu. I think CuKu's got to be careful. Right now, CuKu's kind of teetering here. It's 91 to 77. Good pickup scenario. Oh, this damage getting extended is a bit frustrating. It's got to be frustrating here for CuKu, as he is trying his hardest to hang on. Psystorm being researched as well as the Blink DT upgrade. PAPI's going to start getting himself positioned into this late game format, and this worked out so well for him in the previous series. That game number 1, it was a long form game, but PAPI was in control basically from like about the 13-minute point on, and that kind of where we're sitting right now. If PAPI can deflect a couple more of these big pushes by CuKu, I think he will just be able to win the game in the long term. Oh, it was a very, very good. Jeez, goodbye. It was a very good stutter step onto the Colossus. The Colossus had been picked off. All of the Colossus are out of the game now, have been transferred in place of disruptors. Storm's also going to be available as well. And I think it's a nice little back and forth here as the disruptors try to get some of the big damage, but the Storm will end up kind of locking the rest of it in place. Oh, he does manage to snap that planetary fortress as well. That ends up being really, really nice. Some great force fields here as these units are going to keep themselves alive. No pressure down on the bottom side of the map just yet, so PAPI is going relatively unpunished here, despite the fact that he was able to clean up that base for very minimal losses. And now we start seeing that bank once again. 4K minerals from our red Protoss player. Oh, there goes the DTs. Oh, the DTs are going to get a lot of damage done, and now this Bioforce is forced to try and retract back home, but there's not going to be a whole lot for them to retract to. Workers have already been pulled off of the line. There is no detection just yet. This is a Bioforce that will get softened up by a really nice Storm, but plenty of medevac energy here will help keep this alive. Oh, I mean, it's just excruciating damage back and forth here. These Stalkers are going to try and clean up as much of this as possible. But will the medevacs be able to escape? I don't think all of them will. Good chunk of them do, though. Oh, and then there's a follow-up force. Oh, these medevacs have nowhere to go. That's a lot of damage that's going to be difficult to recover from. How many of those medevacs got picked off? 9. That is so much gas. That's so much gas. That's going to be really difficult to try and bring back in. Oh, good. With EMP, giant blink forward to pick off a remainder of this army, and CuKu is falling apart. Unfortunately, I think PAPI is going to be able to lock this in. 171 to 121. The army count of CuKu has been halved by PAPI. And there just continues to be more damage coming along the way. Additional Stalkers are going to get more giant blinks forward. Here comes the additional units up on the top side of the map. Losing this planetary is a no-go situation, and every worker goes down. PAPI exercising the dominance here, and 3-1 his opponent here in the final series. He'll advance on to the Season 3 playoffs. Well played. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure to click the subscribe button so you can catch more of my videos as they are released. If you want more Rushi content, feel free to find me on Twitch and Twitter. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.